Music. My gut was telling me to do it, so I did. I went with Paraka and did the number 2. He was sitting there watching and he kept watching you. He was wearing a thong just screaming. It seems that the spirit true a police officer federal stopped us to approach right. He started to shock the car. He was all confused. He took me with the dog on his lap and brought me into the kitchen. At the time I was entering the neck. What happened to our friend Helena? But it looks like it's an action movie with a touch of terror, and it all began on a day when she met a charming guy at the beach. It was love at first sight. He looked like a prince from a storybook, and the story has its fair share of laughs, but it ends sadly. Tell me, what would you do instead of Helena? Music. I can't believe I'm talking to you, my God from heaven. That wonderful Helena. How old are you, Kat? It was an action movie with a touch of terror, and it all began on a day when she met a gorgeous guy. They were both at the beach, and it was love at first sight. He looked like a prince from a storybook, and the story has some comedic moments, but in the end, it's almost a tragedy. Music. I'm not even believing that I'm talking with you, my God from heaven. That wonderful thing, Helena. How old are you, Kat? You're only 50 years old, but you had a relationship for a while. Behind this relationship, it had even happened. You didn't even hear to tell me the story. It happened about a year ago. I was now from a beach town, and I traveled to a mountain range in the same state. Then I went for a walk with a friend of mine whose mother lives there, and I met a guy there. Music, and as the city is not too big, people knew him. You're only 50, so you're still young, but you were in a relationship for a while. You didn't even know about it. It happened about a year ago. I was visiting a beach town, and I traveled to a mountain range in the same state. I went for a walk with a friend whose mother lived there, and I met a guy there. Music. The city wasn't too big, so people knew him. I found a beautiful guy. I looked at him, and we started talking. You'll have to write to us about this. What is this? A beautiful face, yes, and cute pectoral muscles. Mazadinho knows. Even all the kitten is the same age as me at 49. I also liked a guy like this. I saw him right then, and I saw more before and after. I thought it was personal. I found a cat, and it was the most beautiful creature I had ever seen. I looked at him, and it turned out that we had a lot in common. We talked for hours, and I realized that I had found someone special. He was a handsome, charming man, and he was the same age as me, 49. I had never been interested in someone like him before, but I was captivated by this man. I thought, I told myself, with a man like that, it's hard to fall in love, but I'm falling for him. He said, that cat and I are like each other, and I said, that's right, it's a cat just like me. We talked all day, and I stayed with him that day. I never went home, and it felt right. I thought, I'm in another city, there's nothing to lose. I went to his house, and it was just as he had described. I thought to myself, I told myself with a man that I was enchanted, and it's hard like that. I fall in love, but I met him. I said to him, man, that cat, and he liked me too. He said it was a cat, right? We talked all day, and I stayed with him that day. I thought, I never go home face, and it happened right. So I thought, I'm in another city. There is nothing to lose. I went to his house, which was 14 kilometers from the city he lived in. I was right, it was the center, as if it were. Thus, the center was farther away in a distant neighborhood, 14 kilometers. I went to his house, a whole place. We stayed there. I didn't find it very cool to the Parana right there, but we spent the night talking and chatting. Effectively right in the end. But what was bad in Parana? He looked like he lives 14 kilometers from the city center, but his house was farther out in a different neighborhood. I went to his place and we spent the night talking and chatting. He looked like he was at the gym ready to put on a show. I looked at him and said, hey man, you don't seem to be flexing your abs. I figured he wanted to show something and I said, hey man, what are you doing here? He saw that he was not going to do business. He realized that the business does not work. He stopped and we stayed talking and laughing. At the gym, he seemed interested in working out with me. I looked at him and said, hey, you don't seem to be doing the flexion part of the abdominal exercise. I realized he wanted to show off something, so I said, hey, I'm just trying to help out. He seemed to understand and he realized that the business wasn't working out. It was a bit of a bummer, but we kept talking and laughing. In the morning, we left his place and went to a bakery for coffee. He left me in the center of New York and my friend picked me up. He let me take a ride to her house, but then she took me to the middle of the way before climbing a slope. I understand, okay? He paid the bill, but at the bar I drank 2 drinks. Who paid was me, though. Before going to the site, we stopped at a place called Jesus We. It's type A. We had a great morning, starting with coffee at a bakery before heading out. My friend kindly offered to pick me up, but I decided to walk to her house. On the way, we stopped at a restaurant where we had a fun dance session. He was very generous and paid for everything. In the morning, I went to his house and my friend took me. I had mixed feelings about him, thinking I liked him but also wondering if it was just a one-time thing. I didn't think I'd see him again. It wasn't just a little bit and I was worried it might not be right. I came back to my city and he sent a message saying he liked me. I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't know that. There were signs and I wanted to see in my city. I don't know that I was possessed. I don't know what. A girl wasn't me like that, but sex doesn't matter. It was good, but I don't know what. One man there tricked me. If I want to go to your city. I only don't want to be in it. I don't know that I know that there's something there. I just know that signs came and I was flying right. I don't know if I was Makumbada. I don't know what happened to the girl, but sex doesn't. It was good, but I don't know what that one man did to me. If I want to go to your city. I only don't want to be in it. I want to stay in your home. I went to his house. Everyone knows he left. What does it cost to leave him in my house? That house that everyone came to all over the world. And, come understand. More or less, one will have no problem in my house. It was already with people. Then I said, so okay, no problem. I said, what was no take my son? Then I said, your son not being alone here. He enjoys taking a walk with me too. I said, okay. I asked him to stay in my home and he agreed. Everyone knows he's here. What does it cost to leave him in my house? That house that everyone came to visit? Everyone from all over the world came to visit. I understand. It won't be a problem for him to stay in my house where there are already people. Then I said, okay, no problem. I'll take my son with me. I said he's already older and he enjoys taking walks with me too. He said okay. I said what I carry is what I eat. I thought he was just eating that, but he ate that gently. Music, then I said like this because I don't even worry about it. He brought all of this and he brought it all. Okay, let's go out. I don't know what it is, but it's in the last day before he leaves. Although it's not Sunday, I was already wanting him to leave soon because he arrived on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I said, what I carry is what I thought you wanted to eat. I made a meal for her and we went out. I said, I don't even worry about it. He brought all this and it's all right. We'll go out. I don't know what it is, but it's the last day before he leaves. Although it's not Sunday, I was already wanting him to leave soon because he arrived on Friday, on Saturday, and on Sunday. He thought he said, no, go away. Only on Monday does he leave. It was in a restaurant on the edge of the beach. I said, I didn't want to promise you anything. I said, man, you don't understand. I don't ask you to promise me anything. After that, I wondered. First, he told me about the advantages of women he already had to judge. Another was a medical professional who was counting something like that. Then I sent him a message. I said, look, I want nothing more. He said he didn't want to promise me anything. I said, man, you don't understand. I'm not asking you to promise me anything. After that, I wondered. First, he told me about the advantages women have over men. Then he told me about the medical benefits of being a judge. Then I sent him a message. I said, look, I want nothing more from you. I'm not like people with titles. I have no title of anything. I am a person like him, not for love of God. I'm in the mood for you. Let's stay here in the city. I have a fixed place right here. I have a value that is right. I don't work every day. Right then I said that I know. I went against my intuition. I understood my intuition screaming. And I made Paraka with her and went. I'm not one to flaunt my credentials, but I'll tell you this. I'm as genuine as they come. I'm not one to flaunt my credentials, but I'll tell you this. I'm as genuine as they come. I got a big suitcase, 'cause I packed clothes for 15 days. He said he'd stay 15 days, but I don't know if I brought a big suitcase when I got there. They welcomed me warmly. It was like a movie this year. until I got to the city and found the suitcase in the middle of the street. It was so beautiful, so tidy. So beautiful, so fragrant. I miss it. I really truly want you. I'm not sure where he lives, but I know this site is close to another site with about 5 houses. He stayed with his children in one of those houses. It was another huge one as soon as he called, Thirst, and some other little houses. All the furniture is intact and it doesn't look like anyone has moved in. It's not spoiled at all. He didn't take anything. He doesn't sell it. I really miss you. I'm not sure where he is. He lives in a place with about 5 houses, and I think one of them is where he stayed with his children. It was another huge one, and there were some other little houses there too. All the furniture was in perfect condition, like it hadn't been moved in at all. It didn't look like anything was damaged. He didn't sell it though. He said we should go to the headquarters together and that we would stay there. So we went there, and that guy was really nice to me. He was affectionate and attentive. I said, "Oh, that's a bad impression," and he started to change his mind. He said he had a previous relationship and she had tricked him. He wanted to be my password, cell phone, and me. I know someone who, he said. Let's go to the headquarters together. I'll stay there with you. So we went there and that guy was really nice to me. I said, "Hey Megasena, right? That cute." I said, "That bad impression, right? Okay. He started to change his mind. He said he had a previous relationship, and she had been unfaithful to him. He wanted to be my password, cell phone, and me when I know someone. I blocked everything. I am loyal. I know someone. I forget everyone. I was a little uncomfortable with him wanting my password because I find myself drawn to that woman. Empowered, right? Nothing, no, but I said it poorly. This side my good mother knows. I'm traumatized. I don't want to traumatize him more. I cried, poor animal, horny. Let's understand each other. I let him look at my password only when I woke up. The first thing I did was take my cell phone. I cut off all contact with him. I'm the one who's loyal. I know someone who forgot everyone. I was a bit uncomfortable with him wanting my password. I'm an empowered woman, right? I said something to my good mother, who was traumatized. I don't want to traumatize him more. Cried, poor thing. Horny. Let's understand each other. I let him look at my password only when I woke up. The first thing I did was take my cell phone. He was looking at my messages. Let me have the pleasure of seeing what was happening first on my cell phone. Something you want to erase? I said, "Man, I don't want to pay anything. What a guy for me to go to the bathroom. That it is together?" I couldn't take my cell phone with me to the bathroom. He was sitting and watching me. He kept watching you. Shit doesn't talk to him. I won't be. I'm happy to share my messages with you. I'd love to see what's happening first on my phone. Is there something you'd like to erase? I don't want to pay anything. It's great that I can go to the bathroom with my phone. I couldn't take my phone with me to the bathroom. He was sitting and watching me. He kept watching you. He doesn't talk to you. I won't be able to shit with you. Seeing normality laughs. Everything I said. If he speaks know me. I try smelling poop. I want to stay looking at you. It was difficult in the beginning after the dawn. There you started shitting in his front. I started just that. I didn't want to see him shitting, a disgrace. Right? I spoke like that, dear. You can shit. Well, that I do not have this fetish? No, I don't have a fetish. Well, no meet BH, I'm happy to share that I'm able to share a bathroom with you. Everything I said was true. He speaks to me. I try to smell poop. I want to stay looking at you. At first, after the dawn, you started shitting in his face. I started just that. I didn't want to see him shitting in disgrace. I spoke like that, dear. You can shit. I don't have this fetish. I don't have a fetish. Will no meat be happy? Okay there. He started not right. I'm laughing nervously, respecting you. After that, and we went to the city where her son studied. Hello, there was the first BO. We left and I don't know. I had something like that. I don't have anything. I'm not homophobic. I have nothing against people, lesbians, and so on. Again, I like men, right? I don't like girls, I don't like boys. It was happy, okay there. He started off a bit rocky, but I'm glad we were able to connect. We went to the city where her son studied, and it was a bit of a strange experience. I had a bit of a shock, and I'm not sure why. I don't have any prejudices against anyone. I'm open to meeting new people. I like men, but I'm not particularly fond of girls or boys. It was a bit weird, but I thought it was interesting. Every time I went out with him, a woman would approach me. I thought it was strange, but I was open to it. I said, my God from heaven, and I'm like this. I'm always ready to meet new people. Then something unexpected happened. We were on our way to the police station when a federal policeman stopped us. He asked us to step aside, and I obliged. I got out of the car to talk to the police officer. We stayed there for a while, and then we had a really nice chat with him, and then we left the next day. We left the city and went to a bar where a guy was. It was a total coincidence. I said I was going to the bathroom, and when I came back, he said, "You don't know what happened. Now he's here with his sister." His sister asked if I wanted to go with her, and I said I didn't want to. We chatted with him, and then we left the next day. We left this city and went to a bar where a guy was. It was a total coincidence. Suddenly I said, "I'm going to the bathroom." I went to the bathroom. When I came back, he said, "You don't know what happened. Now he's here with his sister." His sister asked if I would divide you with her, and I said, "I didn't say so." You said, "I didn't have to reply." I said, "I'll talk." "No, I don't like it. I don't want to." "Thank you, but not." Another girl, a blonde who was dancing, came to talk to me. I was talking to her when he stopped behind her and heard her singing, "Hey man, there's a shit there." He was already nervous. He already wanted to fight with the girl. Curse the girl. She offended the girl. We left there badly. I didn't need to reply. You said you wouldn't pass. I said, "I'll talk." You said, "No, I don't like it. I don't want to." "Thank you, but not only." He went to the bathroom. Another girl, a blonde who was dancing, "Come talk to me." I was talking to me. He stopped behind her and heard her singing, "There's a man there." He was already nervous. He already wanted to fight with the girl. He cursed at the girl. She was offended. We left there badly. Right, and I told him, "Man, just say no." The girl came to say, "Not normal." "No problem." You understood. It was a beautiful blonde. Every little girl understood nothing of the other who asked to share with me. She was well sapate. Okay, then gave a fight there at his house. Daughter and son were to me only. When he gave that fight, the girl was his daughter, his daughter. When we arrived at the apartment, the son shouted that it was the apartment he left a child there. I said to him, "No, no, no." The girl came to say that it wasn't normal. No problem, you understood. It was a beautiful blonde. Every little girl understood nothing of the other, who asked to share with me. She was well sapate. Okay, then gave a fight. There at his house, his daughter and son were there when I gave that fight. That the girl was his daughter, his daughter. When we arrived at the apartment, his son shouted that he had left a child there. He came nervous like he was taking me out of him. But I saw her look of despair or signal. The next day he apologized past. Okay, we went back to the city there to his site. Sometimes he argued with me. I said, "Man, I want to go. Although I want to leave, I don't want to stay here. You had passed about 15 days ago. I want to leave. I want to pass it. I don't want to be him anymore. No, I love you. We will." I felt uneasy as if I were being pulled away from him, but I understood his distress. The next day he apologized and we returned to the city to his place. Sometimes he would get upset with me. I would say, "I want to go." He would say, "I want to leave. I don't want to stay here." I said, "About 15 days ago I wanted to leave. I wanted to move on. I don't want to be him anymore. No, I love you. We will be together." An alliance on my finger understood. Not the people will be together. I want you. I want you. I don't know if that's okay. I took my puppy over there. I will only hold this information that then I didn't do anything with a puppy. Not, I think that I killed him. He does not do with me. He does not do with my son. He does not do with my animal of mine. It makes me love because I think I am capable of not, but with me, I am thinking of marrying an alliance on my finger. I don't know if it's the right thing to do, but I really love you. I want you. I don't know if we're compatible. I took my puppy over there, and I'm holding this information. I didn't do anything with the puppy, and I think I killed him. I don't think he did anything with my son or my animal. This makes me love him because I don't know if I'm capable of not loving him. But I still love you. I had a problem with him the day before, and I fought with him. He had several facets. You know that person who sometimes looks nervous and seems very different when he's okay? I think it's not genuine. It's not coming from the Spirit. May the Spirit really touch you and don't drink too much. He is not little. He is this Saturday and I already wanted to. I'm doing okay. I was there and I had a bit of a disagreement with him the day before. I had a bit of a fight with him, but it was just him trying to change who he is. He has many sides. You know that person who sometimes looks nervous and then looks completely different? Well, he's okay. I don't think it's genuine. It's not real. May the Spirit really touch him and let him drink a little. I already wanted to leave on Saturday. I said, man, I want to leave. I'm cool. I'm not feeling well. It's a lot of fighting in my life. I said, for him, my life was peaceful. Understand? I had peace. I was happy. I'm getting bitter. I'm getting sad. You're ending with me and I'm leaving. I don't want this anymore. For the love of God, will you please not undo my suitcase? For God's sake, please don't undo my suitcase. I love you. I want to leave, I said, my voice gentle as I looked at him. I'm not fighting or listening just because I don't want to fight. My life is a war, he said, his voice soft. I'm not okay. I'm getting sad. This is ending with me and I'm leaving. I don't want this anymore. For God's sake, I won't undo my suitcase. You're not going with me on Saturday? I asked, my voice a soft murmur. No, he said, his tone regretful. I fought with him all Sunday morning. I was already wanting to leave. He said, let's go out today. There is a business there that has a samba wheel with some girls who sing only here. These singers are lesbians. I've been to a lot of places with her, and she ends up dying. The couple and everyone else weren't going to, and it wasn't just a place for gays. On Saturday, I had a little disagreement with him, and I said, okay, let's go out today. He said, let's go out today. There is a business there that has a samba wheel with some girls who sing only there. These singers are lesbians. The sisters and I went to a lot of places and everyone was very allergic to it, so she ended up dying. The couple and everyone else weren't going to go there, but I thought it was important to respect it. We just have to respect each other, okay? We got there. I was sitting at the table with him, and a girl was looking at him a lot. She was a beautiful girl with long, straight hair from the house. He was looking at her a lot. I said to him, Bruno, let me ask you a question. Why are you with me and I am? I don't fight. I don't listen just because I don't. I looked at him and said, hey, I just wanted to ask you something. Why are you with me? I'm not trying to fight or listen to you. I just want to understand. I love you and I don't think it's fair for you to look at that girl. I understand that she's not very pretty, and I'm okay with that. I was even thinking about going with her, but I don't think I have to. Music. It doesn't look like this is going to be an issue. I think I know her from somewhere. I looked at her and she looked like me. I also knew. Her colleague was dancing with this girl and she got up. I said, hey, it's all good, but I love you. If you love me, you wouldn't be looking at that girl over there. She's not pretty, is she? I understood. I already said I wanted to go, but you don't need to go through this. Music doesn't look like this. I don't think I know her from somewhere. I looked at her and she looked like me. I also knew. I said, okay, her colleague is dancing with this girl. This girl got up. She looked at him, but I saw an appeal in her eyes. I saw a half despair, so I said, I already have a drink. I drink this bathroom. His entrance is facing the hall right then. To see who was outside, I looked in the bathroom. At least part of her was there. Then she was in the bathroom too. I looked at her and told her, head tells me where I know you. I know me too. I know you. I know that there was a sudden change in the atmosphere when a girl looked at him. I could see a hint of desperation in her eyes. I had already had a few drinks, so I went to the bathroom to take a piss. I was facing the hallway, and I saw part of the bathroom. Then I saw that she was in the bathroom too. I looked at her and said, hey, I know you. She looked at me and said, no, you don't know me. She sounded scared. He almost went into the bathroom. I said, "Hey man, you're going into the bathroom to ask what was that you told her?" He said, "As soon as you came in, she said no." I said, "I don't know her and I don't want to know. I don't want to know what she told you. Bruno, you're scaring the girl. I don't want to know what she told you." We went to the line. She looked at me and said, "No, you don't know me." Suddenly, he almost went into the bathroom. Almost everything inside the bathroom. I said, "Man, you are entering the bathroom to ask what was that you told her?" He said, "As soon as you did, she said no." I said, "I don't know her." And I said, "So Bruno, you are scaring the girl. I don't want to know what she told you." We went to the line. Their paths were to round. I was hungry and he said, "Let's go to the square to eat a hamburger. The guy makes a good hot hamburger. Although I don't like a hamburger like that, but he's very good." I was hungry, so I said, "Let's just have this." He went to the car, making cute noises, saying, "I'll send soon for her to see the car." There were people passing by, and I felt like having a hamburger. He said, "Let's go to the square to eat," and I agreed. The guy made a good hot hamburger, even though I don't usually like that kind of hamburger. But his hamburger was very good. I was hungry, so I said, "Let's just have this one." He went to the car and made a cute face, saying, "I'll send it soon." I told him, "You're speaking nonsense. You want to take a wave of something that you don't understand. You're screwed in life because I already went there." I know his reality. He is rich, but he only values money because it blocked everything. We left that place and went to the place that sells hamburgers. He said, "Like this, you will want a hamburger." There he stopped the car in the middle of the street. I'm not sure if I'm speaking in a ridiculous way. You want to take a wave of something that you don't understand. I'm not sure if you're in trouble in life because I already experienced that. He is rich, but everything he is counting money because it blocked everything. We left here and from there we went to the place that sells such a place. He said like this, "You will want a hamburger." He stopped the car in the middle of the street. His car is large in the middle of the street. He spent some time with girls by the car and started talking to me. He bought the wallet. I don't know if he looked at me and spoke so calmly. He said, "You will want a hamburger," and said, "Look, I don't even want anything more. I don't want to leave." Then he said, "So you won't want a hamburger, right?" I said, "So not, I go after them." I said, "Go after her." He's a big guy, so he's standing pretty far up on the street when he spots some girls. He starts chatting with them and he buys their wallet. I don't know if he looked at me, but he spoke so calmly. He said, "I don't even want a hamburger. I don't want anything else. I don't want to leave." Then he said, "So you don't want a hamburger, right?" I said, "No, I don't want one." He said, "So you're going after her?" I said, "I'm going after her." He said, "What if I want you?" I said, "If you want me, I'll go after her." He went after her inside the car. He went after her left of the car and he spoke in the car. I was sitting in the car next to him. He turned to the girl and said, "You said there." She said, "I didn't say anything." She got scared. She said like this. I said, "I don't know anything. I didn't see anything. To me, you didn't." "My son, if you want me," I said, and he went after her inside the car. He went after her on the left side of the car and spoke inside the car. I was sitting in the next seat. He turned to the girl and said, "You said there." She said, "I didn't say anything." I got scared. I said like this. I said, "I don't know anything. I didn't see anything. To me, you didn't say anything." He cursed me right out of the car. The staff punched her car, punching this and that. He began to punch the car, and 2 other people came out with her. They started playing the car too, and then they started shocking it. It all caused confusion. Then he took it and spoke. He took it into the car and told me, "Your bastard came, what you did, and what you made me do." I shut my mouth. "You bastard, you wretched thing." I didn't say a word. He cursed me right out of the car. The staff started punching her car, punching this and that, and he began punching her car too. Then 2 other people appeared with her, and they started playing with his car too. Then he started shocking his car, and all confusion ensued. He took it and spoke, telling me, "What you did, your bastard, you made me do." I shut your mouth, "Your bastard, you wretched in my life, my only curse." All that was the name. I started to stay in shock. I stopped. I didn't have it anymore. I didn't have one reaction. I was like, this knows that feeling, my God in heaven, what is happening, what I'm doing, what I'm doing, what I'm doing, what I'm submitting that this is I. So I didn't know what to say. I just got shrunk as soon as he was driving. I was shocked. I didn't know what to say. I was frozen in place. He drove past the trunk at high speed. He was driving crazy. I said, I'll kill you. I'll kill you, okay? He arrived at the site and went home. He was at the headquarters in another house. I went to the headquarters. I entered. I started tidying up my suitcase. I said, good, my puppy is close to me. He is tiny. A Yorkshire. I put it close to me. I started to pack up. I started tidying up. At high speed, passing by the trunk, I said, I'll kill you. He arrived at the site, went home, and was at the headquarters in another house. I went to the headquarters, entered, and started tidying up my suitcase. I said, good, my puppy close to me. He is tiny. A Yorkshire. I put it close to me. I started to pack up and tidy up. The suitcase suddenly started screaming. I looked around. The site was big. I saw him at the end of the place with just underwear on, screaming. I arrived closer. I said, what happened? Only bastard. I lost my Rolex. It was almost 300,000 reais. This was my roll of diamonds from heaven, and when he hit the case, the clock fell. Then I got it. He said this. He started screaming, and I went over to him. He was standing at the end of the site, and I saw that he was wearing just underwear. I asked him what happened, and he said, bastard. I lost my Rolex. It was almost 300,000 reais. This diamond Rolex was a gift from heaven. And when he hit the case, the clock fell. Then I got it. He said, disgrace my life. Lose 300,000, not even your house. Slut that you live there in that place. That shit erases my cell phone, my clock. But wait, that day before he was good. He hadn't had none of that. I didn't know this side of him. He wasn't like that. You had never seen him exalted that way, despite having already seen applause. That way it was. My life was disgraced and I lost 300,000. Not even your house, not even your bag, not even your clock. But wait, the day before he was good. He had none of that. I didn't know this side of him. He wasn't like that, not like that. You had never seen him like that, despite having already seen him exalted in that way. And for me, then he started calling a slut because of the clock. He uttered these horrible words. You disgrace my life after I will light incense here. I will make a prayer in this house, in my right living, Jesus beloved brings peace that I'm thinking here. Demon there began screaming, and I saw with my dog in the car. Desperate, I said, so let's go back there, let's look. He said, let's go back there, let's look for it. And we prayed to God, asking God for God's sake to free me from the situation. I screamed, upset, and jumped. I said, ready, I will die. Here, this creature will bury me. No one will find me in this place because no one knew exactly where I lived. My children, my family, they will not find me. I said, Jesus, let's go back. When I walked to another house, I went to take my bag. I prayed to God with all my heart, asking Him to save me from this terrible situation. I was desperate and I couldn't stop screaming. I jumped up and he screamed, no, don't do that. I'll bury you here, and no one will ever find you. I said, Jesus, let's go back to my family. I said, let's go back to my children. I went to get my bag or my cell phone, but I don't remember what happened next. I was upset, and he caught me. He grabbed me at the entrance of the kitchen when I was coming in. He dragged me by the neck, and he was very strong. He dragged me to his car, and he wouldn't let go. He played with me, and he threw me into the car. He was so angry, and he played with everything. I don't remember what I was thinking when I agreed to go out with him or when I was on the phone with him. I was upset, and he caught me in a lap. He took me by the neck, dragging me, but he was so strong. He dragged me to his car, and I was in pain. He played with me, throwing me around like a rag doll. He put me in the car, and I was scared. I was protective of my pet, and I said that the shit was responsible for my life, but I didn't put anyone at risk, right or wrong. My animal won't get hurt. He held me, and he played with me. He took the car out, and he said that I would die if I didn't do what he said. He said he would hit me with the car, and that I would die if I didn't die, or I would end up crippled. I was desperate and nervous inside. I said, Jesus, help me. I was overwhelmed with emotion and I felt like crying. I couldn't help but remember that I didn't know what had happened to my life. I arrived at this place and he had hit the car. He got out of the car and I stopped like this on the floor. There was a house below and he went to play the bell. He had a floor above and I was praying to God as well as to the animal on your lap. Suddenly a girl. I said, Jesus, help me, because I was overwhelmed with emotion. I wanted to cry when I remembered that I didn't know what had happened to my life. When I arrived in this place, I saw that he had hit this car and gotten out. I stopped on the road and had a floor. On top of that, there was a house below. He went to play the bell and had a floor above and I was praying to God as well as the animal on your lap. Suddenly a girl appeared on this floor. I said, look at her. She's looking for a watch. I said, I'm here. Speak, Bruno. Come here and talk to the boring girl who is watching. She is the watch. It is with a friend of mine that he found here. He said that you will return it to him. The girl came down with his sister to take him to his friend's house. I went to the bank at the back right and arrived at the back seat. I looked at her and she was looking for a watch. I said, I'm here, and spoke to the girl with the watch. She's with a friend of mine who found it here, and he said you'd like it. He'll return it to you. The girl came down with her sister to take him to her friend's house. I went to the back right and arrived at the back seat. There was more talk. I just cried and shouted, curse me like that. All right, when he came close to the guy who was delivering the clock to him, he spoke. My God, what did I do to you? This voice, my God, what do I do to reward that? I even fought with my boss. He never called me, so I fought with my employer. It's the love of my life. I fought with her because of that. Then there was more talk and I just cried and shouted, curse me like that. When he came close to the guy delivering the clock, he spoke. My God, what did I do to you? This voice, my God. What do I do to reward that? I even fought with my boss. He never called me. I even fought with my employer. It's the love of my life. I fought with her because of that. Then the boy, without understanding or knowing the reality, caught me and said, don't cry. No clock is there. I know. It was a Rolex. This is expensive, but I'm returning the clock. It's quiet. I no longer had a reaction because I could have left that car there in time later, right? I thought I should scream. They asked for help. It was happening right there. You were there with a psychopath on your side. Only I had no reaction. I was shocked. I didn't have it. I was a bit confused, not really sure what was going on, but I didn't want to upset him, so I said, no, don't cry. There's no clock. I knew it was a Rolex and it was expensive, but I was happy to return it. It was quiet and I thought, I'll just leave the car here and go back later. But they asked for help and it was happening right in front of me. I was shocked and I didn't have an answer. I came back home. I still couldn't get up to go to the front seat. I came back and he started driving again. He started driving that way. When he arrived, he looked at me and spoke. Your slut arrived and she's arranging her things to leave, but it was already tidying up. I tried to lock the whole house, but he spoke. If you lock the whole house, I'll break in here. I knew how to enter the house and I knew it was mine and something else, I don't know what, but I'm here. I was still in the back seat, unable to get up and pass forward. I came back to you. What happened when I came back? He started driving again. When he arrived, he looked at me and spoke. Your friend arrived and arranged her things to leave, but it was already tidying up. I tried to lock the whole house, but he spoke. If you lock, I'll break in, he said. I know how to enter this home. It's mine and there's something else I don't want to do here. He didn't even know you. I didn't even know you. The only place I saw that I had gold somewhere was in his bathroom. He showed me, but I didn't want to. I didn't want to do anything with him. Okay, he locked the bathroom. It was 4 a.m. at this point too, and a little in the morning, almost 3 hours in the morning. He returned the room to someone else. I didn't want to, but he insisted on taking me to this bathroom because he said he had hidden some money there. I didn't even know you. I saw that he had gold somewhere and he showed it to me. I didn't want anything to do with him, but he locked the bathroom as it was 4 a.m. He returned the room to someone else at 4 a.m. He said, my love, let me ask you something. I saw that he was no longer the demon he used to be. I said, I will talk to him. I will speak to him. I will take what you want to say. I will take it in your words. I will take it in your even what you want to talk. You don't even start talking. Your daughter took it on my side and slept. I slept. I spent all night awake waiting to. He said, "My love, I have something to ask you." I saw that he was no longer the demon he used to be. I said, "I'll talk to him. I'll speak to him. I'll speak to him. What you want to say, you'll say it. What you want to talk about, you'll talk about it." Your daughter, he took her side and slept. I slept. I spent all night awake waiting to arrive on the next day next to a car to go, although I had clothes there, a bicycle. He had come here on the bike. I understood. Then I started. I already woke up early. I started calling. I managed to talk to a guy from a Fiorino. Only he couldn't take me that day. I said, "My God, I will spend this whole Monday with him here." This guy goes, "I'll give it another turn around. I'll come back." This Capeta has in his. I arrived on the day next to see a car to go, but because I had clothes there, I had a bicycle. He had come here with the bike. Then I started. I had already woken up early and started calling. I managed to talk to a guy from a Fiorino, but he couldn't take me that day. I said, "My God, I will spend this whole Monday with him." This guy goes, "I'll give it another try. I'll come back to Capeta. I have his body." He took and spoke to me like this. I spent the day crying, asking him, begging him to stay with me. I put it nicely. "I'll take you nothing." I got all his wounds. I put him in his face. I rubbed the finger of his food because he gives shit that he speaks to you. You are a shit, not even climbing. Did you understand? No, he has beautiful hair, even beautiful. That beautiful straight hair. I said, your face, your face. I found beautiful when I met. He took my body and spoke to me, saying he'd spent the day crying and asking me to stay with him. I felt terrible. I said, "I'll take you nowhere." I have all his wounds. I put them in his face. I rubbed his food because he said I was a piece of shit. You know, he said you're not even worth climbing. Did you understand? He has beautiful hair, even beautiful. That beautiful straight hair. I said, your face, your face. I found your face beautiful when I met you. You're only so shit that neither beauty nor you have. You know you will live in this beautiful place. It's your place, right? He has brightness, he has no color. He said, because you live here. So for me, you want to see how I will prove that I love you. He ran to the other house and took Alex, who I had lost, and came to deliver me. For you, I said. Stuck in your. I spoke. You know why? Why don't you value yourself? You know you're not the most attractive person, and that's okay. You're a kind and generous person, and that's what matters. You'll find your place here. It's a beautiful place, and it's yours. You're right. He's not very bright, but he has a lot of love to give. I want to show you how much I love you. He went to the other house, picked up Alex, and came to bring me to you. I said, I'm stuck in your house. Why don't you value yourself? You know why? You're a kind and generous person, and you have a lot to offer. You have a nice car and Rolex, but you don't have much. Everything you have is because of me. I think we should bury you here in this place, make your voyages ego right here. You're not a very attractive person, but you're a kind and generous person, and that's what matters. Then the next day I said, good, I will have to spend a day with him because the guy arrives. The values that a person possesses are a reflection of their essence. A material possession, such as a Rolex watch or a fancy car, does not define one's true worth. Even after death, one's legacy remains in this place, a tangible reminder of their existence. The next day, at 6 a.m., a search party arrived. They spent 7 hours tidying up and ensuring everything was in place. I told them, she looks only at me. I've already sent her. I called a friend to inform her that I had already informed no one. She said, you will do the following. You will tell him that you already sent the location you use for all your groups for your mother with your whole family. And everything that happens will look for him, what happens, and will look for. I'm sure you'll understand, but I'll need to leave at 6 a.m. the next day. I'll be gone for 7 hours, but don't worry. I'll make sure everything is tidied up and my things are there when I return. I'll call my friend and let her know I've already sent the location. I'll tell her I'm using it for all my groups, my mother, and my whole family. She'll know what's going on and will look for it. I'll take a knife and put it under the pillow. I'll go to sleep with her there. And if you lock everything, I'll tell him what she said. I'll say, oh, what happened here? I'll look for you. My mother doesn't know that my mother is already old. I don't want to leave her nervous if I don't arrive tomorrow in my city. I'll look for you, okay? He doesn't put me in the Maria de Penha. It'll take a knife, and you'll find your voice so nervous yesterday. I'll lock it all there. I told him what she said. I said, oh, what happened here? I'll look for you. Mine only my mother, who doesn't know that mine is already old. I don't want to leave her nervous if I don't arrive tomorrow. In my city I'll look for you. Okay, nervous, he doesn't put me in the Maria de Penha. He doesn't know why. Otherwise I will lose my process there. Because his whole thing is money. I understand. He is a materialist. He gave me hours there. I got butai. I spoke like this for him. Now he spoke like this and the stove things were all working. In this house we were there when it gave about 6 hours. I said, Bruno, out of here, out of the house. But I will eat what I eat. Shit I put there to out there. I locked the door. I'm worried that he might denounce me, but I'm not sure why. Otherwise I'll lose my process there. His whole thing is money and he's a materialist. He gave me an hour there and I got butai. I spoke to him like this and the stove was working. We were there when it gave about 6 hours. I said, Bruno, out of here, out of the house, but I'll eat what I eat. I put shit there to out there. I locked the door like that and I locked the other doors too. Even the room that the house was big, the knife under the thing scared him, and I spoke to everyone when I gave me. I spent the whole night. I wasn't in my body and I didn't feel my body. It was a strange thing. I didn't feel my body there when I gave 6 in the morning. The guy called me and the transport was like this. Helena so-and-so. I found your voice so nervous yesterday. Nervous and I couldn't get you yesterday, but I'm going early on me. I said I'm ready. The guy arrived when I entered because he had a fear of men. He grew up with women. He didn't show up. I had a crying crisis until I arrived in my city and the guy was so happy to see me. He told me a really cool story. I left. I couldn't make it yesterday, but I'm going to try my best to be there. I said I'm ready and the guy arrived when I entered. I told him not to appear because he was afraid of men. He grew up with women so he didn't show up. I had a crying crisis until I arrived in my city, and the guy was so happy to see me. He told me a really cool story. I left and when I arrived home I was so confused. I didn't know where to start. It was only 4 months, but it was a very intense experience. That's why we got into a situation, and he was above suspicion. He's a father who raised his children alone. He understands everything, but he lies to everyone. He's a good guy that the city likes. Why did everyone speak of Maria de Penha? He is already convicted at Maria de Penho. When I got home, I was so confused. I didn't know where to start. It was only 4 months, but it was a very intense experience. It was painful, and that's why we got into a situation. He was above suspicion. He's a father who raised his children alone. He understood everything, lied to everyone, and was a good guy that the city liked. Why did everyone speak of Maria de Penha? He was already convicted of Maria de Penha. I ran away from that thirst. I stayed in that house at dawn. He took it all and ran away. Now you see that he did this with this woman. He had a process that if I returned to Maria de Penha, he would have complicated things for her. I was going to complicate things even more. He came home and then he didn't have contact with me. He didn't come to you at all. I told him that if he came to me I would. I'm so sorry to hear about the situation with your ex. It's really unfortunate how things turned out the way they did. I know he was in your city, and I told him that if he came to my area, he would be in my territory. I said that if he came, he would be caught. I understood that if he came to my gate, he would be beaten. I wasn't going to have anyone else do this with him, because I understood that he was fearful and only grew stronger with women. I guess he didn't have the courage. I said, you'll be in my area if you come here. If you come here, you'll catch a beating if you put your foot on my gate. I understood that putting my foot in my gate would turn me around. In this city, you'll take a beating. I wasn't going to have anyone to do this with him. He only understood that he was fearful. He only grew stronger with women. He didn't have the courage to come after me. He thought that if he came after me, he would be crazy. He was crazy, but he was right. We have to give a crazy man a chance. You were really enjoying him for at least 4 months. It was a surprise and a disappointment that he had done all this with you. He destroyed you with his hands and feet. He is a person who doesn't know how to love. He doesn't even know how to love. I understand that you're upset with me, but I'm not going to let this go. I know you were happy with him for 4 months, and it's hard to see him do all this to you. I know he's not an easy person to love, and I'm sorry that he hurt you. I know he has a difficult past, but I don't think that justifies what he did. I told him you needed time, but he didn't listen. I'm sorry I didn't do more to help you. History has shown me that the mother had 6 children, and her mother was the only one she gave. I caught a lot of this aunt's hand in my life, but I think she has a history, but it doesn't justify the way she treats other people. I told him, you have what you need to treat yourself. You will bleed on your own wounds. I blame myself to this day because I didn't do justice. I didn't do it with my own hands, but through the law. My God, rely on the beautiful face. Don't trust it. And so she made me. I told my friend when I came back. I said I'm bad, but I'm going to cry for 2 days. I'll cry for 2 days, not for him, but for not allowing me. And from the 3rd day, I'll be a woman again. I was always clear. Today, I have this travel as so might in me, but I will overcome because I am. My God, I'm so grateful for the law there. I'm doing okay, even though I'm not always happy. But I'm learning and I'm grateful for that. I've had some tough times, but I'm stronger because of them. I'm more careful now, and I'm excited to see what the future holds. I'm starting another graduation, this time in physics. I'm starting to understand that life is a balance, and I'm ready to take on new challenges. Caramba, you really opened my eyes. I've learned so much from this experience, even if it was the hardest way. I'm more careful now, more cautious, but life is just beginning for me. I'm starting another graduation, this time in physics. I'm starting to understand that life is about finding your own balance, even if it feels like you're giving up something. I surrendered what made it wrong, not me. I was loyal, full of myself, my best self. I gave up who I was, but he didn't. He was the one who was toxic, who was bad. I'm like this today. I have peace, I understand peace. I can't be happy every day, but I have so much. I surrendered what made it wrong, not you. I was wrong, not you. I was loyal, I was full, I was me, mine, from my best essence, my better. I gave up what I didn't give. He was the one who didn't give. He was toxic. He was not good. He was not good. I'm like this today. I am so. I have peace. I understand peace. I can't be happy every day, but regardless of everything I have, peace. And this peace is priceless. I love you. I've been dating you for a while in your channel, taking part in your story through Danny Delanos. It's a love too, and I will tell you. I had it crazy to tell you because that smile of yours is very cute. Thanks, and for sharing with me and with our friends is over 100,000, but I promise you that everyone keeps secret. Laughs music.